the trial. Now can you imagine our trials, how feeble, how trivial are our trials compared to the trial of Ibrahim? Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to reward the righteous ones. Now if we are the righteous ones, we will be rewarded with those kind of tests. وَفَدَيْنَاهُمْ بِذِبْهٍ عَظِيمٍ, and we ransom him with a fiat sacrifice. But what about us? Are we that righteous? So therefore Allah is testing us, and only you can decide whether you are righteous or you are sinful. I am not going to be your judge. I am a judge for myself. I will only do it for myself. If I am righteous, am I one of the prophets? Am I one of the Imams? Am I one of the companions of the 72 in Kermalli? When I say, Ya laytana kunna ma'akum fa'afuza fawzan azima, Ya Allah, these are not simple words. These are not empty words. Ya laytana, I wish. And not only I as a man say it, even our sisters do it. Ya laytana kunna ma'akum. If I was with you, all the companions of Hussein, fa'afuza, I will succeed with a success, which is the success, the greatest success. Fawzan azim, the greatest success to be there. Now if I am not there, and I am saying this every Thursday night in Ziyarat al-Walida, are these empty words? And if they are empty words, let us stop saying it. And if they are not empty words, let us conform to it. Let us operate to it. Let it motivate us. Let it make us that we are ready to sacrifice the way they sacrifice. But our sacrifice is going to be such sacrifice that is going to be of no value whatsoever until we enjoy it the way those companions enjoyed it. When the companions were heard that Bibi Zainab is saying that I don't know whether these people tomorrow will be able to help my brother and give their life, they gathered around her tent with their swords open on their neck, and they say to Bibi, they said, Bibi, if we cut our heads, if our heads are chopped once, twice, 72 times, we will wake up again and we will give our life for Aba Abdullah Husain. Salawat bar Muhammad. These were the companions of Hussein. And Hussein says proudly, nobody had the companions before, or nobody will have companions after me. This is Hussein. Let me assure you, my dear brothers and sisters, we are also his companions. If we let ourselves to be his companions, he will accept us. But if we want to be his companions and we don't want to let ourselves to be so, then it is our problem. Last night I said, we build the bridge of our fitra and let under the bridge of our fitra run our lusts and our desires and our anger and our hypocrisy and our animosity and our all those evil things that we know of. Let them run under that bridge that I build, the bridge of my fitra, to go from here to there and become an insan kamil. Salawat bar Muhammad. The prophets were righteous. Then those who are most like that, when the prophet was asked, which of the people are tested most severely? Who are tested most severely? And he said the prophets. Prophets? Look at Ayub, look at Yunus, look at Ibrahim, look at Yusuf, look at Yaqub, look at Musa, look at Isa, and the rest of the Bani Israel prophets. Look at the way how they have been hassled, how they have been tested. So then the prophet asked, and who else? And he said, then those who are most like them. And then those who are most like them from the people. So those who are like them, according to the hadith of our Prophet, saying that our Imams have a superiority than many of the prophets. They are like the prophets. There is a hadith of the Prophet that they are like the prophets, but they are not prophets, but their character, their morals, their ethics, and their submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the taqwa that they have is like that of the prophets. Who are they? They are our Imams. Of them is Hossain. And Hossain says that if you want, you can be like me. That means we have to have the taqwa. So there are those who are the Imams, and then there are those who are following the Imams. So let it be not only loose tongue, let it not be only empty words that we are saying that we are Hossaini. If we say we are Hossaini, we have to keep our money where our mouth is. Salawat ala Muhammad. And then you'll find a servant who is close, is tested until he walks the earth without a single sin on him. Not even a single sin on him. And these were the 72 who were with Imam Hussain on the day of Ashura. Are we ready for that? If we are ready, then we know that we are going on the right direction. If we are not ready, then let us make ourselves ready. Inshallah, tomorrow I will come with some solutions to that. Now, please give me one salawat. I'll go on number 3. Salawat. Number 3, why we are being tested is to purify the ranks and distinguish the righteous from the wicked. He wants to distinguish who are the righteous and who are the wicked. So I say, show me in the Quran. Where is it written? You know, we have sometimes, we who are a little bit ignorant and a little bit know something, we always, you know what? We always challenge our scholars. We don't challenge our doctors. We don't challenge our teachers. We don't challenge our professors. We don't challenge the mechanic. When I take my car to the mechanic and he says, it is your plugs that I have to change. In fact, it was not plugs, it was only something like a tank, my gas tank. But when he says, look, I'll have to do it, I say, go ahead. Or I have to do this, you don't even challenge it. The only person we know how to challenge is our scholars. Why? Where is it written? Who wrote it? What is the history about it? What is ilm al-rijal? I don't even know how to spell ilm al-rijal, and I'm telling my scholar, what is ilm al-rijal? I don't even know how to spell it. This is the easiest thing to challenge. But let's go to the Quran. Let's forget everything. In Surah number 3, what is it called? Surah first is Tawheed. Surah 2 is Baqarah. Surah 3 is, anybody? Imam, thank you. Salawat by Muhammad. We're thinking, what is chapter number 3? Is it Imran? Is it Ma'idah? Is it, I don't know, maybe I'm confused a little bit. My brother helped me out here. Thank you very much. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in chapter 3, verse number 179 is telling us, Ma kana Allahu ليذر المؤمنين على ما أنتم عليه حتى يميز الخبيث من الطيب وما كان الله ليطلعكم على الغيب ولكن الله يجتبي من رسله من يشاء فآمنوا بالله ورسوله وإن تؤمنوا وتتقوا فلكم أجر عظيم. Please go and read this verse. Verse number 179, chapter number 3. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and on no account will Allah leave the believer, on no account will Allah leave the believers in the condition in which you are until He separates the evil from the good. Al-Khabith min al-Tayyib. Nor is Allah going to make you acquainted with the unseen, but Allah chooses His messengers whom He pleases. Allah is the only one who has the right to choose His messengers the way He pleases. Therefore, believe in Allah and believe in His messengers. And if you believe and guard against evil, if you have taqwa, then you shall have a great reward. Salawat by Muhammad. It's amazing that there are things which are happening in life, and I've got a few examples that we'll share with you, and then we'll go to the Messiah. Alright? We find that Allah makes it easy, the affairs of the people who do evil. The evil people have got it very easy. So that, why does Allah make it so easy for them? He says, so that they may increase in sin and corruption. So that they continue. And so that they might increase in the build-up of sins and crimes. Then He will deal with them in this world and the hereafter. I'll give you simple examples. We had that guy who was called Baghdadi. He was a caliph. I don't know what is his first name. He was called Baghdadi with a beard up to his navel. And he was there with the Daesh. And he was there somewhere in north of Syria or north of Iraq. And he made his own country. And he said, this is my country. And I am a caliph with a country. And I have my laws. You know what I'm talking about? Where is he today? Do we even know where he is? Do we know whether he has been killed? Do we know whether there was a person called Baghdadi? Was he created? Was he an imagination? See how easy Allah takes care of stuff. And when He will take care of it in the hereafter, only He knows. I don't know. I'm just giving you a simple example. On the other hand, He may also prevent them from ease so that they would increase in evil and sin and crimes and suffocation, eventually losing hope in the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, resulting in an increase in their build-up of evil and misguidance. You will find a person who is evil. He gets into troubles. You ask Las Vegas, and they will tell you that people will trouble there. And they're evil people. Atlantic City, evil people, and they are there on the streets, and they borrow from Peter to pay Paul, and they steal from Paul to pay Peter, and they go on in that mashakkat. That is the trial they are going through. They sometimes don't even have food to eat, and they want to gamble, and they continue in their sin, they continue in their crimes, they suffocate. And we hear about this. If you don't hear about it, it is there in Hollywood. They show movies of these people. There is a place in Los Angeles which is called Skid Row. Have you ever been there? Has anybody been to the Skid Row in Los Angeles? Yes? Well, somebody has been there. I was taken there in the morning. I was told, this is only the edge of it. I will not even go there at night. And we see them in the movies filmed by Hollywood. What kind of suffocation that they go to, and eventually they lose hope in the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They don't only forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they lose mercy they lose their hope in the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and in their evil and misguidance they are annihilated on this earth, and they will face the music on the day of Qiyamah. This is for the evil people. Likewise, Allah can make easy the affairs of the good people so that they become established in their righteous actions and carry out as much of them as they can while increasing in their sustenance, so that they may thank Him for these blessings with their hearts, tongues, and pleasant action. All of us here have gone through problems in our countries. Yes? Some of us have gone through so much problems that they still have nightmares while they are in this safe country. Am I right in saying this? When they came here, we were refugees. We were hand to mouth. We were being treated as if we were cockroaches by our own people. Because we were poor. Because we were stateless. Because we did not have a green card. Because we were not the citizens of the United States of America. And then we started, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knew where those people came from. They were the muhib of Ahlul Bayt. They were doing the Azadari in their country. They came here and slowly they established centers like this. You think this center came very easy? I was told today that in Ashura, one of the Ashuras, I was told by one of the gentlemen here, that he took me to South Mountain, and on the way there is a masjid there. And in that masjid, they started having their Ashura. Before that, they were having it somewhere else, where they were thrown out because of whatever political reasons. They went there, there was nothing there. There were only 10 people. Suddenly, the mosque was full. Suddenly, where did these Shias come from? Where did these Muhibs of Al-Bayt come from? When they came, they saw the place, they said, oh my God, we don't have our own place? No, we don't have our own place. You want money? Take it. They started pouring money in such a way that slowly and steadily these people, you people, all of you, together in a concerted manner, brought this into existence. Can you now remember how you are mistreated in Afghanistan or in Yemen or in Beirut or anywhere else, or in Africa or in Pakistan or in Iran? How much you were persecuted that you came here. At that time you were hand to mouth. Nobody wanted to even say hello to you. Nobody. You had nowhere to go. Today, mashallah, look at you. Allahu Akbar. Who has given us this? This is the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on us. And yet, in our hearts, we don't have a place to forgive. All the trouble that we had enemies here also. Each one of us has got an enemy here, has got an enemy back home. Oh, he did this to me. Oh, that one did that to me. Or this one did this to me. Or I will not pray behind that one. Or I will not even return the salam of that one. Isn't this happening here? Why is it happening? Because we cannot forget. We do not want to forget. There's one man who went to a Hindu Swami, and he said to the Hindu Swami, please bless me. He said, what do you want? He said, I'm in a kashmakash. He says, what? He said, since I was born, my father has been against me. I've been so much against because my brothers and my sisters, they were given good food, they were given good clothes. My father was always isolating me, was not giving me the way he was giving him to the rest of my family, my siblings, and so on and so forth. And he said, really? He said, yeah. He said, okay, let me ask you a question. Is your father alive? No, he's dead. How long has he been dead? He said, he has been dead for 25 years. The Swami is saying, are you still carrying the burden? Come on, let go. Give and forgive. This is what the Prophet did on the day when he won the battle in Mecca. In Mecca, everyone was against him. He went with his soldiers. He won the battle in Mecca. He was the guy at that time. He was the boss at that time. He had the power at that time. He had the authority at that time. And he could have done whatever he wanted. What did he do? He said, those who go in the house of Abu Sufyan, they will be saved. Those who go to the Haram Sharif, they will be saved. Those who go to the house of so-and-so, they will be saved. He was finding excuses after excuses to save those people so that they are not in any way, shape or form become slaves and be harassed by the army of Islam. He forgave. He forgave his arch enemies. There was a man there who ate There was a woman there who ate the liver of Hamza in Uhud. She was in Mecca. She was saved. Yes or not? You are looking at me as if you are perplexed. This is true or not? Am I saying the right history? Am I? And when Zainab was in the darbar of Yazid, and when she stood up, when he arrogantly said, who are these people? Oh, this is Zainab, this is Kulsum, this is Ruqayya, this is Rabab, this is Layla. Oh, so these are the people of the Prophet. At that point, when he stopped, Zainab stands up. And Zainab has no chadar. And Zainab is standing in front of ambassadors of how many countries who are sitting there with Yazid, playing with the head of Hossain with his knife, and the monkey is playing around there. He is playing with the lips of Hossain in front of Zainab. And Zainab is telling him, Yabna Tulakha. What audacity this woman has. What fitra this woman has. What kind of love and what kind of tawheed and what kind of surrender does this woman have for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that he's telling Yazid, the superpower, Yabna Tulaka. You know what it means? Oh, the son of the freed slave. Can you believe it? The son of the freed slave. He said, you see what we get? What is man tashaw, what is man tashaw. Allah has given us Izzah, Allah has given you Zalala. He said, Yabna Tulaka, listen to me now. And there is a whole speech of Zainab. We cannot go to it now. But what I'm saying, give and forgive the way the Prophet did. The way, you remember Amir al-Mu'mineen, when the guy who went and cut his head, when he was brought with his hands tied behind, he is telling Hassan, open his hands. He's not my slave, he's the slave of Allah. He's given milk to drink. He looks at the milk, drinks a little bit, he's giving to it. To whom? Abdul Rahman ibn Muljim, who was one of his companions. He was one of his Sahabas. He turned against him, and he is the one who killed our Imam. Our Imam is saying to Hassan, Ya Allah, if I pass away, then you can take revenge for me. One stroke for one stroke. Only. One stroke, one stroke. But if I'm alive, you will leave it to me, whether to give him the stroke or otherwise. Can you see this forgiving nature of Amir al-Mu'mineen? Can you see how he is treating his own enemy, his murderer? And I'm not ready to forgive you, and you are not ready to forgive me. Baba, let it go. We are building a nation here. Look at our beautiful children. They are going to be the leaders of tomorrow. They are going to be the fathers and the mothers of your grandchildren. Where are we going to go? How are we going to operate if we do not do this? Therefore, with all this, they increase in the building up of good deeds they rightfully deserve with Allah because of their righteousness and because of the good that Allah knows is in their heart. Because Allah knows in your heart, it is the fitrah that He put in your heart, that He knows that there is nothing but good in you. He knows that. So let us concede to that and know that on the other hand, listen to this, on the other hand, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may also prevent them from ease in order to observe their patience upon this state as well as their confidence and hope in their Lord. Their relaxation and the realization of His power, their being pleased with Him as their only Lord, and He is better than all others, resulting in an increase in their building of good. Can you believe it? Suppose if the whole thing changed and suddenly, because of whatever the situation, we become in the same situation as we were in India, we were in Pakistan, we were in Afghanistan, in Yemen. Suppose that happened back to us. How will we react to that? Because we have seen it before, now we are seeing it again. How will we respond to that? Allah says they will respond to it with pleasure because they know that I am their power. They know that I am their Lord, and therefore He will increase in the buildup of our good. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now I can go on for the fourth one and the fifth one, but we leave it for tomorrow, inshallah. We have to go for we have to go and commemorate that young lad. I said about the 13-year-old lad and who he was, and what kind of trial, and what kind of tribulation did he go. What is the name of his mother? Anybody? The name of Qasim's mother. Farwa. Yes? When Qasim was small, he was maybe 3 years old when his father passed away. Because his father passed away in the year 51 or 50 Hijrah. Imam Hassan passed away. And Imam Hussein's battle in Kermalli was in the AH 61. It's about 10 years. And Qasim in Kermalli was 13 years old. So he was 3 years old when he was with his father, who was dying because he was poisoned by his own wife. Can you imagine your own wife poisoning you? Imagine. What kind of trial is that? Would you ever bear it? Has it ever happened to any one of us? No. Will it ever happen? Never. Our wives are the maids of Zainab. They are the maids of Farwa. They are the maids of Zahra. They will not do it to us. Will we do it to them? Never. Because we are the slaves of Hussein. We are the slaves of Abbas. But it happened to Hassan. Not only that, he was not even allowed to go and get buried next to his grandfather. They put arrows. And there were places where the arrows, there's one Tariq who says, the arrows even penetrated his coffin. This is Hassan. They are dying. And Qasim is there. And they are doing something, they are talking. The mother of Qasim is asking for nasiha, advice. And he says to her, he says, a time will come very soon that my brother Hossein is going to be in trouble. See, that harara about Hossein, when we hear the name Hossein, something happens to us. Why does it happen? No one knows. Because it is in innate nature. It is in my innate nature. It is in my fitra that when I hear the word Hossein, I can't stop. I become emotional. So Hassan is telling Qasim and Qasim's mother that the time will come when Hossein will be alone. And I want you to get Qasim to be my representative in Karbala on that day. He said, okay. He said, to make matters easy for you, I'm going to write a letter to Hossein. And that letter, either you keep it or put it on the arm of Qasim, so that if there is any problem, then you can look at that. And Qasim is going from Medina at the age of 12 to Mecca, and he sees all the trials. And from Mecca, he goes with Abu Abdullah on the road to Kermalli. He hears about Muslims' murder. He hears about all other things. He goes forward. He meets her. He sees the magnanimity. He sees the charity. He sees the love and compassion of Abu Abdullah for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that he does not let a thirsty person go out without water, and the whole army of Hur is being quenched by Abu Abdullah. Qasim is looking. Qasim is watching when Ali Akbar is asking his father, who utters the word Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Ali Akbar is asking Abu Abdullah, why you are saying Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un? Hussein is telling his young 17-year-old son, Ya Ali Akbar, every step I take, I see I am going towards my death. And Ali Akbar is asking her, Alastu alal haq, are we not in the right path? And Hussein says, we are. He said, don't worry, Dad, we are here with you. And Qasim is watching, and Qasim is listening to this. And Qasim comes on the night of Ashura, and he is sitting with his mother. And his mother says, Qasim, don't disappoint me. You remember what your father? He said, yes, I remember. You are 3 years old. And he said that you will represent him on this day tomorrow, when your uncle is going to be in that situation. You will give your life for him, will you? He says, yes, Mama, I'm going to do it. A 13-year-old boy. Can you imagine when Hazrat Ismail is asked by his father, what do you think about this dream that I have? And Ismail is saying, don't worry, you'll find me from among the patient ones. But what? He's saying patient ones. And here Qasim says, I'm ready to give my life. This is Qasim, 13-year-old. In the morning, he comes to Abu Abdullah and he says, I would like to go, give me permission. And he says, look at you. You resemble my brother. How can I let you go? Go to your mother. I will not allow you to go, because you are the replica of my brother, and I can see Hassan in you. Go inside the tent. He goes inside the tent. Farwa is looking and said, what's going on here? He said, this is what he said to me. He said, now what shall we do? Mother and son are conferring. Mother wants the son to be killed. The son wants to be killed. The uncle says no. This is a test. Suddenly the mother remembers that there was a letter which Hassan had given to her to put it on his right arm. He said, come here, my son. He opens it, he sees that letter on his right hand, and he says, take this letter to him, to your uncle, and tell him this is the letter from my father. And Hassan is so happy now. And Qasim is so happy now. And he goes to Abu Abdullah and says, my uncle, I have this letter from my father.